Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are about 15 miles west of downtown Phoenix at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018, drafted #1 overall the subsequent year, Kyler Murray.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
First down, Murray. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On the ground, this is Rashad Penny, and he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first. A look at the numbers from Penny last week. 16 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get into round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal. And this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing. Look for he and the offense to try and get him in there at least twice in this game.
A gain of 3, second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Murray throwing on second down. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. We'll look now at the defensive starting lineup for the 49ers. They come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're pretty proud of their rankings. But this ranking is going to be put to the test today because they're going up against a top 5 passing offense in this one.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. On the move to his left. He may try and run for this. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Here's Murray. And that is incomplete here.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. Murray with a 3rd and long. He's got this complete to Ryan Switzer. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. Partner, doesn't seem like it, but that's a tough spot for a kicker. First drive of the game, and they're calling on him. He should be warmed up. He should be into the game, but sometimes it's almost like, oh, what now already? Can't they put it in the end zone? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's probably saying, if you can't get it in the end zone, can you give me a 30, 40-yarder? A long one, and he can't connect. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
To throw on 2nd down, McClellan. And a quick throw here, that's complete. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Some boos coming down right now from this home crowd after that call.
Yeah, and that was because of the pass interference call, but for a second there, I thought maybe they'd gotten a look at my appearance as Othello in the high school play.
You were Othello?
Not a good one, let me tell you.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
So out now come the Cardinals. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Murray, rush coming, and he's taken down. Quan Alexander able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now Rashad Penny. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Set, ready, 60 outlaw, 56. Got one.
To throw on 3rd down. Murray, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Quan Alexander in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
Ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they got a chance to redeem themselves, maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. Marcus Davenport there to take him down. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. We're scoreless after 1. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go.
50, plant.
Off-play action. McClellan, he'll take a shot for the end zone. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing. Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. He can run for it, and he will. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a 1st down. On 4th down, Kyle Shanahan will send out the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They begin with a run by Penny, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On 2nd down, here's Murray. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On 3rd down, Murray. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He'll return it from the 6. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Throwing on 1st down, McClellan. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. McClellan looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. They go play action here on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. George Kittle, the receiver that he was looking for. But it'll be second down. So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. They try to set up the bubble screen here. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on third down. Back to throw. McClellan nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. Third and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and that leads to a play action sack. So on fourth down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And a good result there as that'll get out of bounds and pin them back at their 10-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. To throw, it's Murray. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. Give him 6 on the run. They're going to be faced now with a 3rd and 12.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Cardinals punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
So far, just the single catch. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Off the play fake. McClellan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Looking to throw. McClellan. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now, there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this down. And it's a fumble. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. The final shot before break. McClellan, he's going to throw one up for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, where you see the final score there. 17-13 was the final. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. 27-11, the final score. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Raiders. Christian McCaffrey leading the way on the ground there. Meanwhile, in our game, not much happening on the scoreboard, just a lone field goal in that first half. For the call of the second half, maybe we can get a touchdown, fellas. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This is taken at the 3.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10. Now a pass dumped off to his running back. 25 yards that time. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. 2nd and 2. That's complete to his receiver, Pettis. And he gets it down to the 32. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Ready up.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
I got you. Showing it. Showing it. Wide. Get wide.
On 1st down, Ramsey. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. A great effort there. hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. Throwing now is Murray. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Nick Bosa in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Penny. And this will go for 5 up to the 33.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And able to find Kirk complete. It'll be an Arizona first down on a gain of 17. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Murray, he bootlegs it. Steps away. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Quan Alexander, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11.
I got you.
On the draw, this is Penny. And a solid run down inside the 30.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, puts a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball, and that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Ramsey. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
2nd and 5. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 10 and a 49er 1st down. And he has now hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career catch.
Definitely worthy of applause, but I remember when 500 meant you were going to the Hall of Fame. Nowadays, in today's football, 500 puts you on the path. A significant number.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the 2nd half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 3rd down.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Back to throw again. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Hassan Reddick, his 2nd sack of the night.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Oh, the spin. Oh, good move. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Murray. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot. Just
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out. Here comes the Cardinals punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
With the score, Niners 10, Cardinals 3.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here comes the Cardinals punter now. He's been terrific so far. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Buying time to his left. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge.
Now the ball comes loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Ready, ready. 43's the mic. Here we go. He's coming. Double up. Clear. Get it.
They'll try the left side. Ramsey. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
On 1st and 10, McClellan, broken tackle. And a big loss here as he's taken down. DJ Swearinger, a sack on the safety blitz.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Back to throw. McClellan taking a shot for Samuel. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
And this works out well as it'll kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And now he's going to use his legs and able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Here's Murray. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 12 yards to pick up. Good enough for an Arizona first.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Penny, and an alley to run. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Rashad Penny, his 9th touchdown of the season, as they can now even this game here in the fourth quarter with the extra point. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
The extra point forthcoming. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the fourth. 5 plays there on that drive, and it's finished off by a Rashad Penny touchdown run. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This is taken at the 3. He's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
They'll try the left side. Ramsey, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Off play action. McClellan. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 18 yards, first down Niners.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
And they'll dump it over the top to him. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. following the pickup of 4. Here's 2nd and 6. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And this one is right through. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Kyler Murray now in the Cardinal offense. Down 13-10, 1:06 to play. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. A great Monday night to wrap up the week in football. 2 division rivals and a great finish ahead as we come up on 1st and 10. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Over the middle, complete. That's Hubbard. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. They'll look to throw. James has got it. Complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for San Francisco, they continue to make their case for the playoffs as they move to 9-3, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Arizona, the playoffs look to be out of reach now as they drop to 4-8, and they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, it was a common sight in the 80s and 90s, not quite as frequent since, but it's back. Playoff football in the Bay Area here at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
On first down, Swift. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. A look now at the starters on this 49er defense. They were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
3rd play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. It's caught, Shepard. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
But you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 12 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
He's got the hook up to Lee. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. Garoppolo in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. And he'll give it here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all this stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Nick Bosa in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, and I know that it sounds like a
touchdown, Packers. Sterling Shepard, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Niners now to get their first drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll try the left side. It's Ramsey. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. Well, look now at our starting defense. They sit at number 20 in the NFL right now against the run.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
From the gun on 3rd down, McClellan, and that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On fourth down, the Niners trot out Mitch Wishnowski to punt the football. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 20. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The 49er defense now heading back out there. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that. Totally missed it.
Now a good running play here to start the drive. That'll net them 14 yards as they pick up the first. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. From the 44, Garoppolo. Now Garoppolo lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
60 outlaw. Clear. Let's go.
Following the fumble recovery, McClellan forced out to his left. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Ready to break. 54, right there. 54, Mike. Ready to go.
From the gun, McClellan nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dante Fowler able to record his 5th sack of the season. So first down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Packers 7, 49ers nothing.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
2nd and 13. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Back-to-back great plays defensively. You get the sack on 1st and goal. A great job in coverage there. All of a sudden, they're looking at 3rd and goal from further back than when they started.
And the really good play callers look ahead and down and distance sequence. Now he's got to backtrack a little bit and go maybe off his play sheet to try and dial something up here.
And this is caught for a touchdown. We'll check the flag, but it looked like a clear offsides, and it should stand. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do for them?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
Here we go. Like 20.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Completes it to Lee. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. There's Garoppolo to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Lee. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Here we go.
Garoppolo in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 8 for 8 now, throwing the ball to start the game. A quick throw. Here's Shepard. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. It's hauled in by Shepard. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. Continuing to steadily move the ball down the field. Not big play after big play, but these moderate gains getting them first downs.
And you know what they add up to, right? If you continue that pace and you continue to move it downfield, they add up into 6 points. That's exactly what you're looking for.
And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at one 48-yard line and ended at the other. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They run the counter. Swift looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The Packers on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 6. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Nick Bosa able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait till the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. Yeah. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following the 7-yard return. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. And San Francisco gets set to go here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
42 is the mic.
Off the play fake. McClellan. He's going to loft one. Deep left side here. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Throwing again here on 2nd down, this time complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a first down. They'll run on first down. Ramsey. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
The Niners on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Off-play action. McClellan. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Amazing, perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
On the run, this is Tipton. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. 13 yards, first down, Packers. On first down, Garoppolo. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. From the 36, Garoppolo. And this is Shepard on the catch. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. And he missed it. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And at the half, it's 24-13. Jared Goff with 3 touchdown passes. From there, let's head west to see what's going on with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And it's the visiting LA Chargers who are out in front. Mike Williams, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Derek Carr, strong in the victory, as his guys managed to cobble together their 3rd win in an otherwise dismal campaign. Meanwhile, in our game, each team able to manage just 1 touchdown apiece. 7-7 is our score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. This is taken at his 4. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, 49ers. Called out a 96-yard house call on the kick return. And the 49ers have now taken the lead.
We've sat in a lot of meetings, and they always talk about the offense taking advantage of beginning a half. But special teams coaches don't listen to that. They want to take advantage with their own unit, and they just did.
Yeah, they trailed in the locker rooms, and they changed that immediately.
I think they drew that one up special. That felt like something he pulled out of his pocket that he'd been holding for a while, and they were able to use it effectively.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. A spectacular return of 96 yards. Great blocking in front of him on special teams as well as he takes it to the end zone. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Let's go, defense.
They'll keep it on the ground. Swift. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Here we go.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Garoppolo. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Desmond Trufant with a sack. The corner blitz hits home. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? Well, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors they'd have to look at to try and help out, but you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
On 2nd down, Swift. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
To throw is Garoppolo. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Nick Bosa. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Henry. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
I remember watching Derrick Henry come out of Alabama and sitting with some scouts, and one of the debate points with him was, while at Bama, how often did he have to deal with contact near the line of scrimmage? They were so good up front, that he often got to the second level pretty easily. I think he's starting to answer those questions with runs like that. He's a physical guy.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now a give right side. It's Ramsey. He's got the first down and more past midfield. First down San Francisco, the pickup 14 yards.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. 2nd and 6. That's complete to a speedy wideout Goodwin. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 21. On first down, McClellan completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Marquise Goodwin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-7. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. The throw taken in by Cole. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 40.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Garoppolo looks to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really, really turning in an incredible performance.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. So the sack of Garoppolo, and now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? Looking to throw, Garoppolo. It's caught here by Adams. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Garoppolo to throw for it on 4th. Out to the right here to Shepard. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And the kick here is good with a penalty flag down as well, and they may have run into him after the kick went away. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Flushed out right, and he rifles one incomplete. He was looking that time for Dante Pettis, but now it'll be 3rd down. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get first downs and eat away at the clock.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 44 yards.
Here we go, here we go.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Into the hands of Lee on the jet sweep. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Here we go.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd and goal, Garoppolo. And his throw here's incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. But now it's 3rd and goal.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. Now Garoppolo. And a crusher there as it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Ramsey. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Ramsey. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Now a give, right side. Ramsey. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down.
Go! 50, plant.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Ramsey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Back to you. Ready, go. Now.
Down to a knee for the 49ers. This one about to be on ice.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 13-yard line.
Down. JT Gator. 54. Check. Ready. 5.
Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
A loss of a yard.
So the victory here for San Francisco, and it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises, really both sides did, but they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game.
So for the 49ers, it's a 10th win on the year as they move to 10-3. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, it's a potentially fatal blow to their playoff chances as they drop to 6-7 on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves.